Oh, now Na'Vi has not won a game without PA. They've only won PA. 5 games in the last 13 were with PA. The last win that they did have was a PL on that 14th game. They only win with PA lately. And yeah, I really like Winstrike's draft. It covers all the boxes. I do see damage issues and mid-Marana. And I've seen a couple games where, like, I think like Sumail may be playing it and stuff like that, but this one definitely looks weird.
This is not a trend that we've seen in any of the area either, as far as I know. So I'm a little surprised why they picked that up for Iceberg. Perhaps they know something we don't, but...
Yeah, I know you can, like, you know, leaping out of the arena and all that good stuff can be great, but you're playing into a lot of disables. You know, you get hit by 1 Hex, 1 stun from the Lion. There's so much burst damage that's coming out from the side of Winstrike, too. I'm trying to see where it all comes together as well, because I'm like, okay, Fatal Bonds, what's their big, you know, big wombo combo with Fatal Bonds? It's like Starstorm. It's just like really the Marana until Axe gets a Blink Dagger if he's able to get calls and follow up for his damage. Yeah, it does look difficult, and you know, Winstrike, again, coming out with a really nice draft, and they've been looking pretty damn solid, so this is definitely scary for Na'Vi as it's a very important game.
They've definitely been impressing me throughout their run here up to the upper bracket of Eastern Europe, so definitely interested in watching them here, and yeah, gonna go grab up those runes. But, you know, this is something that it just feels like Winstrike, when they reach a certain point, they just like to run at you. They're a lot similar to, like, Team Spirit, which I'm also seeing, like, in the way that they play. They reach a certain item timing, and then they just start running at you, and they don't stop. Whereas Na'Vi, they need time. They need some time to kind of, you know, like you said, get that Blink Dagger on Axe, start to, you know, amp up these guys so they have enough damage to really make use of the Fatal Bonds.
Yeah, I'm really wondering where it's going to be like the big playmaking until that does come out. Maybe Iceberg is going to bring out some miraculous stuff on this Marana, and we'll see how this top lane ends up going, because they didn't actually block out camps. So Enchantress will have camps available if Yamich doesn't block those out, so Roger will be able to punish the lane quite a lot up top. But Centaur's fine up here. He loves laning versus Wraith King.
Well, they do manage to punish a little bit in the bottom lane. They're able to take out Pantomin's courier, so it's going to have a little bit of difficulties with that, but yeah. Otherwise, you know, one thing I do want to ask about is we've been seeing a lot of like these position 4 heroes coming out that tend to be more tanky brawlers or like high base damage, and we're not quite seeing the same thing coming out from these teams here.
Yeah, it still works out when you have like these range supports, but Na'Vi just looks a little bit more weird because they're what we like to call is your very static laners. You have their Enchantress Warlock. They don't really move too much. Not anymore, at least. We used to see the Enchantress roaming with Enchant, but the Enchant duration is not long enough for you to make moves around the map. So, and they did block the camps. So we did see Yamich. He did exactly what he's supposed to do up top. So Roger will have a bit of a tougher time actually securing V-Tune's farm. Yeah, it's very interesting how they are setting up the lanes too, right? The Warlock bottom just to heal up the Axe, so that tells me they want Ramses to have a good game. He needs to get Blink Dagger is kind of what I'm feeling when they do this lane setup. Just giving him that constant heal so he can get that solid farm. But he's only got 4 last hits right now. He is laning versus Troll AA. It's not an easy lane by any means, as always want to fly. Could die here. Gotta be a little careful.
Trying a man fight over here with Pantomin. I think he's gonna be all right.
He'll be okay.
There's no rotation. I think if they have a rotation, and then that becomes an issue. But yeah, you know, I feel like a lot of the games that I'm casting for Na'Vi recently is a lot of it hinges on Ramses having a good lane. If Ramses has a good lane, that's going to open up the game a lot easier for the side of Na'Vi. They have that initiation, they have the pressure. But if he starts to fall behind at all, I feel like they struggle really badly.
They do, and it really does feel like a lot of the time it ends up being like the V-Tune show. Like I said, those 5 PA games that we did see from him, he completely took over the game just by himself. Sure, his team helped him get to that point, but it was mostly him as top. V-Tune, speaking of the man,
they have the damage.
He's dead.
Cheshire Cat will be smiling after that one.
Love the skill build. It goes for the 2 points in double edge rather than going for the retaliate lane. I think this is perfect. You're blocking the Enchantress's camps. Lion and Centaur, very strong lane. Enchantress doesn't do too much when you don't have your creeps versus this.
I'm a bit concerned too with the Marana pickup for Iceberg here.
Yeah.
You know, usually when we see mid heroes coming out, we think of them, you know, having a lot of gank potential, a lot of damage, and Marana just doesn't feel like that same sort of hero for me.
No, me either. He is getting a lot of pressure onto Rebel, and he can secure kind of both runes with the leap, so it's actually going a bit better than I thought it would go in the middle lane. Just constant harassment onto this Mars has added up, but Rebel is going to be bringing himself some more regen, and he is actually going to get himself the water rune top. Nobody else ended up checking that one, so that's a bit of a fortunate situation for the Mars after he was getting hit a lot by Iceberg.
I mean, that's something that he could be very happy that they have these static laners like you talked about over on the side of Na'Vi. Is, you know, they're not going to be leaving. They're not going to be trying to go and secure those particular runes.
There's a creep.
Harass here.
We do have a creep on Roger now, so they're a lot stronger in top lane when he is able to find these. He's going to put some decent amount of harassment, just a couple hits and an impetus. Cheshire Cat with those skeletons. Yeah, they hurt. And we're seeing stacks. I think that's the other most important thing I am going to watch from Na'Vi is gotta stack Ancients, gotta stack Hard Camp, enable Ramses. He needs to get these stacks around the Ancients. He needs to get his Vanguard blink timing good. The triangle stacks in particular is the ones that they are setting up. The safer ones, because the other ones can get stolen if they start to fall behind in the early game.
You definitely don't want Cheshire Cat having a better start than he already has, so they'll put a little harass down. Nice Earth Spy coming out from Yamich. We'll try to punish them for going a little bit hard here over on Cheshire Cat, but Roger kind of making his way over here on the side. Just checking probably to see if the rune's still available. Grabbing a creep too. Nice Wild Wing.
That's a good one.
There you go. There's your solution. If they block your camps, you just go to theirs.
Yep. We've seen teams now approaching with like 3 sentry wards. They block like everything. I saw yesterday like actually 3 sentry wards placed everywhere, double blocking camps too. So teams are trying to always block out from that edge. But yeah, he has this creep now, so that should give V2 an easier farm. The toughness aura helps a lot too. +3 armor onto Wraith King on top of just the tornado if he uses it. So this is a pretty solid creep actually up here.
How likely is this just going to evolve into something like a gentleman's agreement where, you know, we start to see Yamich moving, Roger moving, and then it's just, oh, Ramses, he wanted that courier so bad. But, you know, it's just going to end up being Cheshire Cat. He gets the Vanguard, he gets really, really tanky, and then they just kind of, you know, farm up here.
I think it's going to get to that point pretty soon, yeah. I think Yamich is going to get the map opened up for him, which I think it's actually quite good for Winstrike. Vanguard on Centaur, then he can look to gank mid, and that's where Iceberg can suffer. If he's there with a Mars ult, he's just dead as Ramses is very deep, and we are seeing the first rotation. Rebel, he wants to stop this axe.
He's throwing his body at him over here, pounds him in, but Rebel, of course, like you said, he's got the arena. Turn right back around again, just pin him over to the wall, and easy peasy for Rebel.
I love when I see those moves, when you see people just cutting so aggressively, like we saw the other day with like the Morphling cutting off the axe constantly. Love when you do see that shutdown. And it's gonna, I think he actually did purchase his Vanguard right before he died. So he did get the Vitality booster finished, and we see these stacks. Always Wanna Fly is preparing his game for a good start.
Those are some pretty big stacks, my goodness.
Those are nice.
And I don't think they have any idea. They don't have any sort of wards over there. Usually Winstrike is like really on top of the vision game too. It's one thing I really admire about this team. But, you know, in this case, I'm sure they realize that they probably are making stacks, but they just don't have any real vision for it.
Yep, and we're gonna watch Ramses farm this juicy stack right now. He doesn't want any chance of them contesting it by any means. Does give Troll a little bit of a free lane for the moment, but with Shadow, the heal, he will be a little bit safer.
Dynamic duo of Cheshire Cat and Yamich should be able to get the kill on Roger. They still got the center over here. Oh, over here, Pandaman, though, is doing a little bit of scouting himself.
He's alone,
though. Fly.
He may have...
is going to provide the backup. Yeah, I feel like maybe he was looking to see if there was a... Ooh. If there was a rune left, but they should be able to get this kill. He's going pretty deep. He's buying a lot of time, though, on the flip side of things. As Iceberg, you know, they pop the salve, pound him in. He's just going to walk into the base here, just waste as much time as possible. And eventually it is going to be Iceberg who gets the kill, but it's a lot of time chasing after a lowly ancient apparition.
Did he actually put the ward? Is that in the camp? It looks like it's just outside of the camp. But he did put a sentry down at least to... It looks like he actually missed the block, but either way.
Top lane, the rotation's coming out now.
Iceberg
opening up. Oh, the arrow misses though, slightly off the mark here from Iceberg. And that's gonna be very costly for them.
He was stunned. Oopsie. That was his last leap too, so these charges, the restore time is quite long. So at 45 seconds till he will have one open for himself. That does keep him, that keeps him open to the window of Rebel actually being able to kill the Mirana. If he doesn't have leaps, he can just get killed quite easily. And no pressure on Troll Warlord. Troll having a free game.
Top lane. Oh, that arrow hit him right on the mark. So Yamich will fall here. Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage from the Starstorm. He will back off.
Okay.
He had to redeem himself there, Fog. You know, the
Sure
first
did.
one was a little iffy, but he got his target.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. These early rotations definitely doing quite nice for him.
I'm not as afraid of a Mirana as I am of this Mars in the mid lane.
No, me neither. Definitely not. That's why we don't see it picked that often.
Yeah.
But maybe we are missing out on something new meta, right? There could be some new meta stuff coming into play.
You love to see it.
As we see Duracho. He's just going to be going for his Battle Fury build, the usual. Not Seeing still Battle Furies in Europe, Battle Furies in Eastern Europe, none in SEA and China really so much anymore. So it's just interesting to see these approaches as Ramses gets the call.
But Ramses does have to be careful here. Doesn't want the cold feet to proc. Does end up proccing though in the top lane though. The aggression is on. Cheshire Cat forced to use the stomp. They get off another impetus here from Roger, but should be absolutely fine. So Ramses is still hungry. He's still hunting here.
If he gets a couple extra spins, it's always great versus Troll.
Why does he have a casual Blade of Alacrity there?
Manta. He's
we're
getting
going
prepared.
Manta. Oh my God, we're
of
going
course.
Manta.
It's the meme. He needs to be the carry. They have a Mirana on their team.
I thought we were going to be concerned about, you know, the fact that they need to have initiation. I thought he would be going for that blink.
It looks like he wants to be the one to do the most of the damage.
He's got to be really careful here because Rebel's back again. Doesn't manage to miss the sphere, but will get stunned up from this Lion. He's trying to just buy himself a little bit more time. The cold feet is down though over on Ramses. Rebel hitting away. They'll go and they'll use a Stampede, but they're not able to get the kill.
Ooh, Rebel.
And Rebel says, my bad, because that spear missing was a pretty big deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a for sure kill if he does get the spear connection. Big mistake there from Rebel. He didn't use the God's Rebuke first. That's something I see a lot of people always do is you rebuke first, gets the slow, then you got the guaranteed spear. A little bit of a slip up there from Rebel. And Ramses now, he can put more pressure onto bottom. Duraccio kind of low HP, so he can boss and walk himself in. So I guess that's the solution, right? We're a little worried about Navi's damage, so him going his Manta Shard build, it will be able to at least maybe provide them that from the off lane.
It's necessary here as Icebergs is going to leap forward, pick up the regen rune. Life is good for this Mirana.
Yeah, all right, 2K advantage somehow for Navi off of these lane setups.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Getting much more efficient plays. Yeah, we'll see that one again bottom. He just
Get too excited.
Ooh, those hurt too. Those type of misses give so much map like freedom because now they don't have to worry about that Mars ult for some time. Iceberg just feels much better about himself on the Mirana, not getting any pressure. And Axe can continue to cut waves. And Vtune, he's got his Midas.
All right.
So he's going very greedy this game as well.
Do you like that, though? Because I feel like Winstrike plays so fast. And granted, we just found out, you know, that Ramses is going to be going for the Manta build. So they are going to be able to play a little bit faster, but is it too greedy?
It might be too greedy, but he is seeing that the Battle Fury is queued up already on the Troll, right? He saw the Perseverance picked up, and Vtune, it's usually all about him for this team, so he does want to be that super carry potential. And he's got a mid-Mirana, so I do want him to be able to scale as big as possible. Don't really believe the mid-Mirana too much later on. Iceberg's doing a great job here in the early game, though, 2-0.
You say this, and then all of a sudden we're going to see that giant string, and we're going to be 60 minutes into the game, and he's going to have a giant Wraith King running around, just like in that last lower game with the Ursa. Dota2, it's just a silly game.
Dota2. Late game Dota gets pretty wild. So we're seeing another smoke. Pantomime, he's hit 6. Rebel looking to just keep making the move onto the Axe. They're not looking to shut down Vtune really at all. Just wanting to really just kill Ramses. As he is the most farmed hero in the game, so it is the most effective kill that they can go for here.
They're going to
Iceberg.
walk into Iceberg here first.
Oh,
yeah, that is
him.
a very nice pickup here. Ice Blast comes in, and that's a dead Mirana.
And I feel like that's usually how I feel like we're going to see the Mirana. Like, that's how I feel like it's going to be in most of these situations. You just die in one stun every single time. So I'm really going to look to be impressed by Iceberg in this mid-game if he's able to avoid these setups. But there's so many stuns and controls that are coming out from Winstrike. So it's going to be definitely going to be hard for him.
So what is the build then that you want to see coming out of Iceberg? Because we talked about stuns, so obviously, you know, something like a BKB probably is necessary, or even something like perhaps a Lincoln's.
I think he will need BKB at some point. He's going to go for his Yasha build, maybe go for a little bit of greed in between, but absolutely needs a BKB this game. Otherwise, I don't know what he's going to provide in the fights. Maybe he'll just be a little bit of a soaker for that Wraith King. Stun off the mark.
Yeah, just a little bit off, but the spear right on target. And there's a big old finger. Always want to fly will fall in the top lane. This is the second time we've been forced to see that Stampede come out from Cheshire Cat just for his own self-preservation.
Oh, worth it. He's living. He's super farmed on Cheshire Cat. He's already got his Hood and his Vanguard, the unkillable build, as we like to call it. And that is an early Battle Fury already done onto Duraccio. It doesn't have any stacks to work on, unfortunately, for him. As usually we do see quite a bit of those. Roger does have the Purge creep. He'll be able to scurry himself away from this scary troll.
At the loss of his brand new friend, though.
That's okay. It doesn't give much. Worthless.
Just give your life for Roger. Easy peasy. All right.
I guess we do have just heavy farm approach. We've been seeing this a lot more from the Eastern European division. A lot more farm-heavy games. 5-2, 13 minutes. We got a Midas on one guy. We got another guy going Manta Axe. It's full greed. It really is full greed by Navi.
If you had told me this about 4 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, Fog and I were sitting in the back in the green room, and we were talking about how it feels like SA has become the new CIS in terms of just tempo.
Yep.
The way that they've been running at each other, and we're getting like a lot more slow, methodical farming sort of things coming out here from this Eastern European area here. But
I like this from Cheshire. Making the move mid, he's got max retaliate, he's super tanky. Tower just dying naturally to that retaliate, plus some hits from Dyrachyo. It's gonna force the move from Na'Vi. They do have their ults. They have Chaotic Offering at the ready. But his Centaur has 1700 HP, and we did say, you know, big damage issues coming out for Na'Vi, so they're just gonna drop the tower without fighting.
And you saw the way that they just immediately backed off. They had that vision. They knew that they couldn't stick together because otherwise Always Wanna Fly is just going to toss down Yamich. Okay. Just trying to stun up the creep, perhaps, make sure he doesn't get caught. But yeah, look at Iceberg, and then you look at Cheshire Cat here. What can she hope to really do?
She'll kill herself just from attacking him. Like she won't be able to kill him by herself. They'll need the axe for most of their damage, for most of their moves. This Cheshire Cat, again, we've seen him do this so much on his Timbers, his Centaurs. Tower's getting pushed, he just shows up.
Stampede, Rebel, trying to go over there. They'll be able to go and clip over here onto the axe. They'll drop the Chaotic Offering, though. Arrow coming in, will land over onto Cheshire Cat, but they have the Hex, and they've got enough damage with the Ice Blast. Pantomime does fall. Ramsey's ticking a bit low, but they turn their attention over to Cheshire Cat, and it takes a lot, but they do finally manage to kill him as Ramsey does eventually pop over onto the back line. And this tower now easily belongs to Na'Vi. Yamich is already teleported out. What a bit awry for the side of Winstrike.
Yeah, the Marauder doing good damage. Great walk, great rock, good positioning coming out from Always Wanna Fly there to kind of counteract a bit of that instant explosion. If they get everything off right away onto the axe, he probably dies before he's able to just like get a call off and reset. So nice setup there from Na'Vi, but Dyrachyo goes top, able to claim this entire enemy jungle now here too, and he's still at the top of the board. But so's Vtoon, and Vtoon did show up bottom with his Midas. Now he's got the Relic. He's still getting very good timings, and they're not really pressuring him too much. There's a little bit of the concern.
We say that, but at the same time, too, now we've got Dyrachyo. He's over in the Roche pit, right? So this is a lineup that comes online a little bit earlier than what Na'Vi's got going on.
I like this move quite a bit. They know the Rock is down. That means no team fight available from Na'Vi. The only way Na'Vi takes those type of fights is with Rock. So yeah, free Roche going to be taken. Mid tower will drop.
They know. They're scanning. I wonder if Ramses is going to try to get in there, but...
I don't think they can.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. They do give up a little bit of a net worth advantage here. Na'Vi is being very efficient with themselves right now, but bam, they do get a Roche out of it. And double Manta is now
I was about to say.
Woo.
Everybody's getting the Manta on this team.
It's been buffed. Why not, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be quite strong. And Ramses, he's going to get a lot of damage that they're missing as they're setting up for... He has
no idea.
So alone up here.
He doesn't have any vision either. The slow comes out immediately, whirling axes. He's going to get called up here by Ramses, but the arrow going and landing over on a creep as now Dyrachyo running for his life. They do manage to take down the Aegis. You can see the rest of the side of Winstrike is moving their way over.
Rock is still
try to protect him. Cheshire Cat looking for the opening. They can see Always Wanna Fly. They'll pin him over to the tree as Cheshire Cat gets the stomp off. That's enough damage coming out from Rebel, so they'll turn it around, but they did lose the Aegis during this.
They did, yeah, Dyrachyo was way too far up, but they're actually going to be able to potentially turn this into a tier 2, so maybe ends up not being as bad for them as it did look initially. But, I mean, Na'Vi's really just playing full efficiency game. Everyone's just trying to farm as much as possible. Look at how they're split up. Axe is farming jungle, Wraith King farming jungle, Mirana farming jungle, since they can't contest this.
I mean, you can see the difference. Like, yes, Dyrachyo sitting at the top of the net worth on the side of Winstrike, but if you take a look, all three of the cores over here on the side of Na'Vi.
He's got a blink.
He does have a blink. He's waiting for the rest of his team to show up, and there they are, the pin over here onto the wall. They'll just rip apart Iceberg. Ice Blast coming in, but won't be able to go land. Roger left behind as Dyrachyo, spiraling axes. They'll follow up with that rock. Doesn't really seem to matter, though. It's a pretty big victory, I think, for the side of Winstrike, because they didn't get much. As Ramses, he taunts up here over on Cheshire Cat, but Cheshire Cat doesn't care.
They cannot waste rock like that this game. It's their only big source of team fight until Ramses has Blink Dagger. That was a very ambitious one as they kill it. Extra money for the troll, and they're continuing to kind of chase them forward here. You have to be a little bit careful. The Radiance Burn is starting to add up onto Dyrachyo, and there is an axe call.
Do get the call off. Rest of the team hot on the heels. They're trying to go and just stun them, but unfortunately a little bit off the mark here for Yamich's Vtoon's running right back in again with Ramses. A good spear, though. We'll push him away. Pantomime is just hoping that they don't have the vision over here, so he is going to be able to teleport out. They did have the vision, and they weren't able to do anything about it, though.
Nope. I like this pickup from Always Wanna Fly. We kept talking about damage issues for Na'Vi. He picks up a Veil on that Warlock, so that's going to be nice. And yeah, we do see that. Golem killed by Dyrachyo. You really can't waste those. I really think that Winstrike can take advantage of that right now. They have all their cooldowns kind of frequently up. This Mars ulti's always ready. He's got a DD, and he's about to have Blink Dagger, and he gets a Vambrace. So it's go time. I feel like Winstrike should just look for these fights now that Golem's down constantly, and they are starting to break, that slight lead, at least in net worth that Na'Vi had. It's starting to stable out, and Iceberg, I really hope he queues up BKB. Okay, he does. So
he has to.
He
can't survive if he gets pinned at all, or just.
And he's stunned, and he's dead.
Yeah.
It's just they have so many different ways to just insta-kill him. So we do have the Moonlight Shadow. Pantomime gets the wards up arrow off the mark.
A little bit off the mark. Leap forward, though. Follow up with Yamich. It looks like Pantomime still will fall, most likely, as Yamich also goes down. They'll turn back around. They'll have to use the Stampede. Cheshire Cat, I think Dyrachyo wasn't sure if he was supposed to go in there or not, because they are going to retreat now without their two supports. Rest of them still hunting. Ramsey's not quite able to get over there, but V2 with the stun. Oh, there it is. There's the arena. As they'll trap them. They'll just try to chip down V2, and that is going to be the reincarnation. Ramsey's, though, looking for the call. Is going to be able to draw some of the attention to the side, away from his core. As V2 is hexed up. Dyrachyo has to be careful. He's sitting so very, very low with the fatal bonds. He will fall, as well as Cheshire Cat. Rebel also going down here. The arrow, Mitch, they haven't quite found him yet, but he is going to get found. Does get the double hit off over on the stun, but he is going to pay for this with his life as he's just slowly burning to death. And V2 gets himself a double kill.
What a disaster. That's without Golem. They somehow just walk into them and fight. Rebel misses the spear in his ulti. Yamich misses the stun as well. They just completely whiff their spells as Na'Vi runs over them here without Golem. I feel like that should not have really happened, but Winstrike with some pretty big mistakes adding up there. Now 5k gold advantage for Na'Vi.
I feel like every time we see Dyrachyo up in that lane, something bad happens. Like he's just a little bit too far ahead of the rest of the...
Rebel just, again, the spear before using Rebuke, and he had a DD, so it's a huge Rebuke when you do see it come out, but yeah, he just whiffs the spear again. Now watch Yamich too, watch the Lion. Blinks in, whiffs the stun as well, and they're all bound, and this is where everyone else on Na'Vi is just getting every single spell off, and yeah, Winstrike just missing quite a lot of them there, and V-Tune able to do what V-Tune does. Na'Vi, even though we do like Winstrike's draft, they are missing quite a bit of spells, and Na'Vi definitely proving that they are a bit of the better team here so far.
You can't make those kinds of mistakes against a team like Na'Vi, unfortunately. Like, you have to be really, spot on. And usually, Winstrike has been looking fairly clean, but like you said, if you whiff a spear, if you whiff one of those, earth spikes, it's going to come back to haunt you. Especially when you look at the play, the way that they divvied up that fight, too, with the axe, just getting the call off on 2 to drag away from V-Tune, allowing him to escape. Just very nicely played from Na'Vi.
And this is all before Ramses even has Blink, right? This is just the Manta Shard now is online. This is the scary thing for the Troll all throughout the game is that dunk. That's why you're seeing Dyrachyo playing so careful, really with his battle trances and stuff like that. But huge window here for Na'Vi, because that fight was done without Chaotic Offering, as we said. Now it's going to be up for this next one here too, and they're approaching it, those items that we were mentioning. At least they were until Iceberg decides, never mind, we just crushed the last fight, I'm not going Beak anymore, I'm going Diffusal and Mirana.
I mean, I like the Diffusal, but I also feel like, you should probably have a backup plan.
If he's going to be able to play really far back behind the Wraith King and the Axe, if he's careful, the build will work, because he's going to do a lot of damage.
Is this just a situation where Iceberg has to be incredibly careful with his positioning?
Yeah. And they did just, they're probably feeling themselves after that last one where it's just like, wow, we just crushed a fight without our only real big team fight ultimate. Definitely shaking up Winstrike quite a lot there.
Yeah, 9.5, so 4k damage over here on Iceberg. It's neck and neck here with that Wraith King, so.
Yeah, he's definitely making it work. 190 last hits too. And the Fatal Bonds and the Veil definitely coming into play to amp up his damage.
Well, I guess it's one of those situations that if Mirana does get caught out, she just realizes, okay, I'm pretty much toast, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't make sense that you pick up the BKB just for those engagements. But speaking of engagements, Ramsey is leaping forward.
Oh my god.
Just blows up Cheshire Cat.
How many kills in a row have they gotten as well, too? What is this?
I don't
1,
know what the
2,
streak
3,
is now
4, 5, 6, 7. They've gotten so many kills in a row that Winstrike they're crumbling. They really are starting to crumble a lot versus Na'Vi.
Dyrachyo can sense.
Dyrachyo.
There's the Diffusal. They'll follow up. Don't quite manage to land the arrow as Rebel's just trying to use this as to initiate. But then they follow up here with the axe. He gets the call. They'll go drop the Golem. They want Dyrachyo so bad here. But they're just not going to be able to get their hands on him for long enough. Oop. We get a little bit of a pause there.
We do.
Yeah, they felt a little bit clumsy coming out from both sides here. Almost like always want to fly, maybe just like a second or two behind with that dropping.
Yeah, they've shown they don't really need the golem in a couple of these fights anyway.
Look at this. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just so far up, and my god, Ram, the damage from the Manta Shard is crazy strong.
A little bit of the play back here, the defusal. Arrow not landing. They do manage to land the spear, which buys a bit more time, but Ramses, he was just right in a good position. But they're just able to escape at like the last second. Just a little bit weird positioning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks like we're ready to go again, though.
Any big timings here for Winstrike? They're both going for Satanics, looks like, on the 2 cores.
I like how you just see Axe run through and just smack one of the creeps, just run run right through. Always want to flies.
Your golem.
He's just leaving it there. Sir? I mean, I know Jins are supposed to serve their masters, but that's...
Okay, 100 gold.
A bit questionable.
They don't care about the gold.
I guess.
Ramses? Dyrachyo? He is on the enemy high ground under vision.
Oh, the follow-up here from Ramses. Yamich going through their spike. Does manage to go land over onto V2. As a big Ice Blast comes in on, they go and they land it over. Always want to fly, and Ramses both crumbling as V2 trying to man-fight through here. It's not looking super great. He is going to go down the first time. Over on the backside, you can see Roger and Iceberg. They're trying to dish out some of this damage as they go, and they do manage to just drop that arena, but they don't catch anyone. Arrow tossed out, and Winstrike just backs off with that whiffed arena.
First big fight in a while, Winstrike's actually able to do something. They are able to keep the troll alive. First is that axe. As soon as he pops Battle Trance, if the dunk isn't off, Ramses does go down. And then Dyrachyo has much more freedom inside the fight. Rebel, ult to run away, it looked like. They're just blocking the Mirana hits decent. And we are seeing why they're queuing up those Satanics, because there is no way to prevent those heals going to be coming out from the side of Na'Vi. If they're able to get that off, then the dunk won't be as threatening.
Got a full pipe of insight completed now for Cheshire Cat. And my question to you, Fugged, is when we're looking at these fights, it feels like Roger and Iceberg are able to sit just so far back. How do they bridge that? Is it just all on Rebel to go and get the jump? Or is Cheshire Cat, like, how do they get in the back lines?
I think it has to be Cheshire Cat. I think Rebel is more about just like getting it into the front and getting the spear onto either Axe or Wraith King so that he can protect Dyrachyo. Probably mostly on the Axe. It's going to be eyes on Cheshire Cat to get on top of this Warlock and Enchantress. But they're going to be a lot tankier. That pipe, really strong pickup here for sure, as we are seeing a little bit of that magic damage was hurting a lot, right, from the Mirana with the Fatal Bond's Veil.
Yeah. So, the jump forward from Yamich immediately, and they'll follow up. They've got the vision, they've got the dust. They're just going to pin him over here to the wall. Ramses is just toast. And they can't do anything on the side of Na'Vi except to watch them. They'll get a stun off over here on Cheshire Cat, but Dyrachyo is going right back in again. And they've got so much damage. The Stampede comes out. You can see Dyrachyo just standing his ground the entire time as Cheshire Cat was trying to get onto the back line, but he wasn't quite able to do it. And they'll go right back. They'll be able to get the kill on Rebel. Can they get anything more, though? Because they're really trying to fight. Okay, they'll follow up with the rock over the back lines. V2, he does pull Dyrachyo. He's still alive, but it's a triple kill now for Iceberg.
My god, I mean, Iceberg is actually owning on this Mirana.
I know, both of us were very confused when they picked this up for the draft, but he's making it work.
We most definitely are. I think I need to see that again. I want to see when the troll used his Satanic, because he didn't have it up toward the end, or I didn't see what he dispelled off of himself, but I didn't see him very low beforehand when he did pop it. He popped it very early on in the fight. Ramses bought back but didn't have a TP, which looked scary, but yeah, Dyrachyo, I think he used his Satanic I think he may have just like clicked it early. I'm not sure what was going on there. Maybe because he was Fatal Bond, he wanted to purge it off, but...
That's possible.
Let's see, because he used Satanic right there, and he's full HP. That is a very confusing Satanic usage.
I guess maybe he wanted to purge off the Fatal Bonds, like you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best thing I can think of right now.
But then for later on, now he doesn't have it for when the fight does progress. As we are seeing the supports in the backline just wailing onto Cheshire Cat and Rebel. And yeah, look, no Satanic now. Perhaps if he had it there, he'd be able to actually turn something, but did use it super early on. And they did reveal their ward there as well, so Na'Vi's going to know that is in the area. V2 does die, and they have to use Ramses' buyback, but they get the Aegis, and they're perfectly fine with all this.
Yeah, they gave Ramses the Aegis, I believe, too.
Yep. He did buyback, so they want to make sure. As we see, he's priority number 1. That's how we see Winstrike playing. They have to just insta-kill the Axe so that the troll can feel a lot safer so he can pop Battle Trance. So Na'Vi's also recognizing that. They know how important Ramses is going to be to counteract that troll. Rebel?
Mitch, Rebel, finger comes out. They'll kill always want to fly. That arrow not going to quite connect here from Iceberg, as he's just going to take a little time in the middle of that arena and think about his life.
They give V2 the shard. And he's almost got a halberd too. He's going to be really tough to actually bring down now. With that little bit of evasion, it is going to be annoying for Dota2 to kind of handle that. And he's starting to fall behind on this troll. This Wraith King really surpassing him, and he's getting caught up even with the Mirana. As Dota2, again, walking up to high grounds. He loves
always here. Like, I feel like he's, I mean, this time he's got Rebel behind him at the very least, right? He's got some backup, but I feel like he's feeling very courageous most of the time, the way that he's just very, very far forward. The rest of his team, you know, it's hard for them to follow up.
Yeah, and Iceberg has made it through the harder stages.
Ramses.
He's done excellent. He has
See you,
BKB now.
Ramses. But Ramsey sees you too, I guess. So they'll go, they'll pin him over. It doesn't matter. They're going to end up losing Yamich here. Dota2 now forced to run away as V-Tune is following up. Ramsey's looking to get back into position here. Try to use that God's Rebuke, trying to push back. Yules will buy a little bit more time as Iceberg leaping forward, has the arrow. He's got to juke around. Nice jukes here from Dota2. Big Ice Blast coming in hot. Will be able to land over on several, but they have the BKB over on Iceberg now. V-Tune trying to fight again. It's going to be the Reincarnation Pathaman over on the back line. Look at these just bonds holding them into place over on the back lines, though. They went and they got off the arena, but I don't think it's doing a whole heck of anything as they lose Dota2. They'll lose Cheshire Cat, and now Rebel running for his life.
Again, he battle tranced and Satanic at the same time in the fight. Right when they go up the high ground, he used both to try to keep himself alive, and then he doesn't have it for the second go when they're able to get on top of him, and now this lead is just becoming way too big for them to deal with. This troll can't do it all on his own.
They've got creeps in the bottom line here. Yamich has to be very careful. Does not want to get jumped here by Ramses.
And seeing this, of course, the Warlock Shard coming into play too. Everyone just staying super high HP efficiency. Yamich.
That's all he can
casual
do.
stun, but Troll's dead for 30. This is at least a Rax.
Toss an Ice Blast out, at the very least, try to put a little damage on them, but they don't seem to care at all. Navi's just taking their buildings. Yamich again, just gonna throw out another Ice Pack, try to just blow up this Aegis, and he does manage to do it. Thanks to that little bit of Ice Blast still left on him here. Blinking out, and they'll take a tower and one of the racks.
Okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And honestly, I take back all the things I said about Iceberg maybe having a tough time. 9-2-9. He's actually he's doing so much. 18 of the 20 kill involvement. I believe he has one of the highest damage done in the game too. This Mirana is absolutely working. He made it through all the tough parts too without getting BKB, and he has it done. And he's gonna find himself a DD now too.
You know, Fog, Dota is one of those games where I love being proven wrong, though.
Oh, me too.
Like, it's one of those situations where we look at it, we're like, what? Like, we have no idea. And then, you know, the pro players come in and they just show us exactly how their mind is working on this. And it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and Iceberg, when he is playing some of these, you know, when he's very comfortable on a hero, he can definitely stand out. We've seen him do it on some stranger ones, at least in the mid, like when he was only really one of the few players running like the Doom, and he was popping off on it all these times. This could be one of those specialties. Big fight.
Ooh, okay. Immediately the spear forward. BKB coming out from Ramses, followed up with a nice arrow coming out from Iceberg. They'll go and they'll drop down the arena. Cheshire Cat, though, will fall. Leap forward over on the back lines. They get another dunk off. Can they get another? He has Pat with triple kill now for Ramses. Dota2, he's going to try. He is disarmed, though. He's not going to be able to go and save himself as he's just chasing down after V2 does eventually fall.
He can't do
Rebel
anything.
can't do anything either. Look at this. He's crawling away. There's going to be the Wraith Fire Blast. All the spins coming out. A couple clicks. And that's another kill for Ramses.
Dota2 is just getting full controlled. The lack of BKB is definitely coming into play too. He's just getting, he gets diffused in the fight, and then he just gets slowed down a little bit from like an enchant or something. He just can't move. Can't do much of anything. Navi, excellent jobs of taking these fights. Just much better understanding of where they are supposed to hit. And yeah, all healed up now. Iceberg, 10-2-13. And that could just be the game.
I mean, you have a couple of the sports coming back up. You still have Cheshire Cat alive, but it's looking pretty scary right now. You can see at this point the net worth has gone very over in favor of Navi. The jump forward, this is Yamich. He was trying to do anything. He cannot. Cheshire Cat getting a double stomp off. It's nice. Followed up, though, here with the Ice Blast from Pantaman. He's just trying to get it off in time before V2 cuts him down. And look at this. He's just playing with his food at this point. The GG gets called. Navi will take game number 1.
And there he is, the man of the hour.
Look at he's very focused, the tongue hanging out of the side of the mouth, yeah.
He played really well. He actually did do an incredibly good job on this Mirana.